Hi, it's Mayor David Stahl. Welcome to another edition of Total East Brunswick. I'm pleased to be joined today by members of our business community about exciting news about the East Brunswick Business Alliance. Joining me today is Marv Goodman, Sherry Levy, and Paul Crociata. Marv, I'd actually start with you. If you could just describe briefly how long you've been in business in town, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a resident for 35 years and as well as in business for about 32 years. Originally, I was with W. Berman Decorating Marketplace, and since retiring in 2006, I've become a shopping center owner and enjoying my retirement.
And it looks like it's doing well. Sherry?
I work with Alternative Integrated Medical Services, a multidisciplinary medical practice in town for the last 16 years, and our office gets involved with a lot of events. And so I'm happy to be part of the East Brunswick Business Alliance.
Welcome to have you. And Paul, up at the mall, I know so many of our residents have seen you.
Yeah, my name is Paul Crociata. I'm the general manager at the Brunswick Square Mall. I've been there for approximately 11 years. And prior to that, I was in the retail business with a large department store. And I do not live in East Brunswick.
But we'd love to have you move into town, Paul. Marv, years ago, we've had a very active chamber in town. And it kind of just went its own course, although the foundation is very active for charitable purposes. We all got together and talked about maybe a void in the community and how businesses can help businesses and how government can also help the local business. So of that, we formed or are forming the East Brunswick Business Alliance. So why don't you just first mention, as the chairman of the alliance, what is the East Brunswick Business Alliance?
The East Brunswick Business Alliance can be best described as a business co-op. It is businesses helping businesses to better each other's business, as well as the practitioners. This also deals with practitioners as well as the service providers in East Brunswick. So it's a alliance by the businesses, for the betterment of the businesses. Very simple concept.
When we talk about it, this is a volunteer group. Are there paid people that are going to be involved? Is there going to be paid staff, or is this a volunteer?
Right now, we have all volunteers, and we have members who are going to be joining who will also be helping on various committees.
Marv, how would you describe some of the goals of the Alliance?
Well, the main goal that we're working towards is to improve each of the members' businesses, economic health in general of the township. We can do so much more working together. Each individual is working hard, trying to promote their own business or services or practices, and we could do a lot more working together. So our goal is to generally build the economic health of East Brunswick.
Paul, you don't really represent a single business. I mean, obviously you're a group of businesses within the mall.
Yes.
How do you view the Alliance in terms of helping not only the mall itself as the global entity, but say the individual stores within the mall?
Well, I think, to use an old cliche, the sum is greater than its parts. So I think if individual businesses can help from each other, whether it be businesses in the mall or outside the mall for that matter, one business, successful business, helps drive a neighboring business. And collectively, I think it'll help new businesses want to come into town. And over time, hopefully, there'll be a growth trend, and everybody will benefit from each other. So I think it's a good marriage.
I know we're calling it the Alliance. How would it differ, at least in your interpretation, from the traditional Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce had an executive director. We do not. They had some paid staff, in which we do not. In fact, our office is donated by one of our members. So there's really very little or no overhead. All membership dues or monies raised directly go to benefit the various members. The Chamber of Commerce basically conducted meetings and did educational seminars. We have limited the amount of meetings that we'll be holding. We will have educational seminars, but we will be doing a lot more of events and promotions for the benefit of the membership in general.
Before we get into the business side of it, let's just say our residents who's watching the show right now, how do you think, Sherry, that this alliance will benefit the residents of East Brunswick?
Well, I think we're going to be offering a lot of good events. For instance, we have a great tent event, which we're planning on September 17th and September 18th. And that'll be a wonderful way for businesses, merchants, to display their goods and services. And the residents will be able to benefit from that. They'll be able to have a fun day and also take advantage of certain coupons, events, screenings. We're really going to make it fun. We want to bring excitement. We want people to look in their own backyard for things to do and also benefit from services provided.
Do you think that sometimes our East Brunswick residents forget all the goods and services that our business community provides here in town?
I think we'll give them a shot in the arm right now and let them know that we're here and we want to really be known as the place to shop and to have their services.
From a business standpoint, I'm a local business owner watching this for the show. How would I contact the Alliance, or how would I join the Alliance?
Well, there's several ways. One, you can email the Alliance at ebbusinessalliance@gmail.com. Also, the telephone number, it's relatively new, so I wrote it down, 732-690-5496. And at the library, there'll be applications for membership that they can pick up. So you have three ways of getting in touch with us.
What do you think would be the motivation for, let's say, a small business owner to get involved in the Alliance?
Well, the events, you're going to have gigantic events at a fraction of the price. You're going to be able to take advantage of large group buying through our organization. Advertising will be a fraction or no cost. We'll have a website which we'll be promoting. We'll have the cooperation of all the other members, and we hope there's over 1,900 businesses in East Brunswick, which we hope to attract a major share of it. So we also have the business-to-business buying and selling opportunities. So there's a lot. And the other thing is, everybody, this is a alliance or a business co-op. So we're looking for not only people to sign up, but we're looking for people to actively become involved in the various committees. It's, as I said, it's by the people of the businesses, for the businesses, for the benefit of the businesses in East Brunswick. So not only becoming a member, but also being an active member, you have a way of really making significant difference in the community and the business community.
You talk about the different committees that the Alliance has formed. Can one of you speak to what some of those committees are, the subcommittees?
I can speak to one, Mayor. The Business Liaison Committee, if you will, is what we're calling it at the moment, which I'm directly involved in. And basically what the goal there initially is to try and develop a framework and a kind of a navigational path for businesses, whether it be established businesses or people who are maybe interested in starting a new business or struggling or what have you, and try to help them navigate a course of action for new businesses, provide information on how the permitting process works, who the folks are down in the building department, those types of things, and what those procedures are, being able to be available for them to answer questions if they have a problem, et cetera, et cetera. And I think over time we may have the ability to bring in some guest speakers, some folks who may be very qualified in certain categories that they may help businesses, give them a forum to attend and help in the educational process.
Go ahead.
We also have a business benefits committee. So often we heard, what does a particular organization do for me? So we have a committee that just uses our collective buying power as a large organization to seek out ways of saving money. As the special events tries to promote business, our business benefits committee tries to save the business person money.
In government, we call that shared services.
There you go. We have the EB Betterment Committee. We also want to do to show that East Brunswick is on the move or continues to be on the move. So we created a East Brunswick Business Betterment Committee. We want to visually, like one of the things we're investigating is to have banners along the highway, graphics on the windows of empty stores. The second phase will be to look at the public spaces like the jug handles and so forth and see if it's possible to landscape those to make it a more appealing shopping experience and a nicer, doing something nice back for the community itself.
But the Alliance, you're not just restricted to businesses along 18. I mean, your own business area is not on 18.
Right, and all businesses are encouraged to join any events that we have. If they are on Route 18 in the beginning, we will be setting up specialized theme tents so that everyone can participate. I think it's going to be great whether you're on Route 18 or at any place in East Brunswick.
I mean, Paul, from your standpoint at the mall, I mean, are you seeing a trend in the business picking up here in East Brunswick? I know statistically, and statistics can be sometimes skewed in a snapshot.
Yes.
But are you seeing more of let's just call it a business confidence here in East Brunswick?
We are. The biggest challenge right now is consistency. We see signs of some good things happening, and hopefully over time we'll be able to get better consistency. I mean, the sales trend is actually slightly on the plus side so far for the year, which is pretty good. And speaking of the mall specifically, our occupancy is pretty high. We have a few vacancies, but that's geared to a development plan that we're working on that we hopefully will be able to announce sometime in the near future. So with all the gloom and doom we hear, there are some good positive signs there, and we're looking to hopefully take advantage of those.
And Marv, I know you've been, as you said earlier, in business for over 30 years, even though you're retired now. We mentioned, I know we've talked about it many times, when you talk to other businesses in town about this new alliance, the reaction has been extremely positive. Why do you think that's so?
It's difficult to go on, business is tough. And it's difficult to do it alone, no matter what size or scale the business, small or large. It's a lot easier if they join forces with the other merchants. They see a lot of promise in this, as much as, and I thank you for lighting the fire, but there's a lot of positive things that can come out of this alliance.
I mean, look, one of my businesses, I'm going to kind of wear a lot of different hats. I have a small business in New York. Can't advertise in New York, can't afford it. There's a lot of things that you just can't do as the mom and pop, and certainly I don't think it's much different in the suburban community than it is in Manhattan. So I think that's one of the things I think is really going to come out of the alliance is someone who's in the small businessman who is the core of East Brunswick. I mean, the majority of our businesses, for the most part, I know not in your end, Paul, although you're going to have mom and pops owning some of those stores in there.
Absolutely, and we encourage that as well.
I think sometimes, particularly in this economy, the person who owns the one store sometimes gets overwhelmed by, how can I get things accomplished? But when you're in with a group of people who have similar concerns, that's where I think you're going to get the juices flowing and the creative thoughts working together.
And for the cost, the membership is only $150 for the year, and we're maintaining that $150 up until the beginning of 2013. So, how much, the benefits you get back from participating in the alliance is significant. And as you mentioned about advertising, what could you get for $150 in today's market? And the advertising possibilities is incredible.
Do you envision, a member store or member service organization having some sign or index on their door or something to establish themselves to the community as a member of the alliance?
Well, we haven't